Hello everyone, I all hope you're in a very wonderful and a very blessed day and a very great day indeed. Sorry guys for exactly shooting late as usual again. I was exactly busy. I'm walking my dog and getting her some fresh air. And I was also doing the washing laundry as from today as well, which is exactly Friday. But despite that, guys, I'm exactly here and I'm able to exactly shoot the next episode, which will be the last episode for today, which will be specifically be uploaded on Monday. You'll only receive the full video on Monday for those of you who are exactly watching the full video on Monday. But for those of you who are watching shorts, exactly you'll receive the shorts of the video today and you'll be able to successfully watch it. So guys, I'm grateful for your support in watching and also viewing my episodes. So please like and subscribe. God bless you all. On today's episode, we're here to speak about a supervillain known as the Red King, who is a high-ranking member of a secret society of supervillains known as the Court of Nature that wants to control and manipulate worlds, cities, planets, and the rest of the known universe and the rest of sacred existence in the process. So we can exactly begin. In the Red King's early life, within the early centuries, he has ruled the Red Nation with an iron fist and with the Red Queen by his side, known as the Red Witch, who's a powerful dark witch and who has lived for many centuries as well. Together, they exactly formed a powerful, formidable duo that can exactly rule and conquer worlds and planets and cities for their empire, which they have successfully able to do for the past centuries. During at those centuries, the Red King remained at his central headquarters of his empire, known as the Red City, where he was able to successfully rule his empire as a true monarchy, controlling worlds and other worldly cities and other civilization at his control. He dispatched an entire fleet of warships and a fleet of battle cruisers and a fleet of airships to conquer and enslave other worlds and other civilizations and other cities in the process to make sure that his empire would remain the most formidable and most indestructible and untouchable empire throughout sacred history. But he could not exactly compete against the Shadow Empire, which was the most powerful, dominant force in the entire known universe and in the entire known universe and in the rest of sacred existence as well, which means, in other words, his empire was not so formidable and so indestructible as the Shadow Empire or the Dark Empire or the other dark and formidable empires that are currently ruled by other powerful, formidable lords and leaders known as the Winter King, known as the Lord Winter King, Lord Shadowjack, and Lord Justin, and also the other lords, and also Lord Ra as well, who's the founder and leader of the Sacred Circle, a very ancient, powerful, sinister secret society of supervillains as well. Despite this, the Red King expanded his empire across known worlds and across known civilizations by conquering them and solely placing the symbol flag of his empire throughout many cities of the known worlds and of the known planets of the known universe, making sure that they remain under his sole control and under his sole control and under his full sole control as well. During at that time, he greatly expanded the Red Nation and the Red Nation known as the Red Empire, making sure that it will remain the most invincible and also untouchable and indestructible empire against the Four Nation Hunters, who, by the way, exactly liberated many cities and many worlds from the Red Empire and managed to successfully overpower the Red King's forces and the rest of his armies by swiftly sending them back and sending them away, and by removing their control and their grip controlling from the other worlds and other cities in the process. By doing so, the Four Nation Hunters were able to capture several key enemies and other known associates of the Red King, some evil warlords and warlocks and dark druids and magic users who are acting under the current orders of the Red Queen and under the current orders of the Red King as well. And they were ultimately sentenced into the astral prison to remain in custody for their crimes against the sacred world and against the sacred universe as well in the process. During at that time, Lord Knight Jackson approached the Red King with a very intriguing powerful proposal that can exactly help him benefit more control over other worlds and other cities for him. He told him that they should exactly joining forces to combining their resources for their ultimate goals and for their ultimate plans as well. And he told him that he should become the new member of his new powerful group of supervillains known as the Court of Nature, which is a powerful group of supervillains with the goal to control, manipulate cities, worlds, and planets and other known universes and other known sacred universes in the process as well. The Red King was quietly intrigued and surprised by this offer of Lord Knight Jackson, and he gratefully accepted his proposition and shook hands with them and stated that from here on today they are hereby associates and also colleagues as well, and that they will exactly neutralize their resources for their ultimate goal and also for their ultimate plans. And Lord Knight Jackson was very pleased and satisfied of the Red King's response, and he was very grateful that he became his long lost time friend and also ally and associate as well. On the 20 on the 19th of January, the Dark Druid exactly received an audience. The Dark Druid received an audience with the members of the Court of Nature, telling him that they planning and the successful planning and the rate of the devices of the technology has been destroyed by the universal heroes, and that everything else was completely a failure. The Lord Knight Jackson reassured the Dark Druid that everything is going according to plan, the way it's intended to be, without anything else able to ruin it or destroy it completely. That everything else is completely going according to plan. On the 29th of January, the Shadow Empire Warlord exactly received an audience with the members of the Court of Nature, and the Red King was quietly present within that audience as well, where he told the members of the Court of Nature that the Universal Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition exactly sabotaged all their plans by destroying all their factories and everything else among the other bases of operations that are quietly secretly working by. The Queen Light reassured the Shadow Empire Warlord that everything is going according to schedule, the way it's supposed to be, that they'll receive more powerful, compatible technology that'll bring down and wipe out the Universal Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition out of the way permanently. On the 1st of February, when the death of the original Lord of Magic created a power vacuum within the Shadow Empire, forcing every other Shadow Empire warlord and commander to secretly form an invincible alliance with ancient groups of supervillains known as the Order of the Five, the Order of the Six, the Order of the Seven, and also the founders, the Sacred Circle, the Unholy Alliance, Sacred Five, and the Court of Nature. To this agreement, they exactly agreed to supply them with more powerful destructive technology as part of their New Deal. In return, these ancient sinister groups of supervillains will continue to supply them with more worlds and with more planets that are under their control in order for them to have sole control over other worlds and other planets as part of their deal and as well as part of their new agreement as well. On the 15th of February, the Red King exactly reassured his commanders as he was at the throne room of his kingdom, as he was at the throne room of his home palace, and exactly reassuring the generals and the warlords of his kingdom that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's supposed to be. With the Shadow Empire's downfall, the Red Nation or the Red Empire can finally rise into the shadows and beginning conquering more worlds and more territories of the Shadow Empire and placing them under the sole control over the Red Nation as well. And the other warlords and commanders and generals were very pleased and very gratefully happy that they can now proceed on the next phase of the plan as well. On the 29th of February, the Red King attended a video conference of the members of the Court of Nature, where Lord Knight Jackson reassured the members of the Court of Nature that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's intended to be, and that nothing could precipitously disrupt the plans or anything else, and that with the battle between the Shadow Empire and the Star Empire willing to wage war for sole control over the sacred universe and over the known worlds, they might exactly become the rightful rulers of the cosmos and of the known universe as well in the process. And the Red King was completely enlightened and very gratefully pleased of this development as well. On the 16th on the 16th of March, the Red King and his entire forces exactly launch a full-scale invasion on the other worlds and other civilizations by reconquering those civilizations and by placing them under the sole control of the Red Empire. They fought against the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, warships and battle cruisers at the rate, which they were heavily defeated, and in doing so, the Red King exactly showed mercy to the Shadow Empire warlords commanders, and he told them that they should exactly submit to his rule and also to abide their loyalty to the code of nature and as well to him to his people as well. The Shadow Empire warlords commanders agree that they will exactly in return supply the Red Empire and the Red Nation with more powerful destructive technology as part of the New Deal, and the Red King was successfully pleased and very, very gratefully happy with this development and also with this intriguing offer as well. On the 10th of April, the Red King attended a video conference of the members of the Court of Nature, where Great Master exactly told the members of the Court of Nature that wiping out the universal Earth heroes and wiping out the world heroes has to exactly come to a standstill, and that it has to effective immediately come out into another way. Queen Light exactly reassured the members of the Court of Nature that everything else is quietly in place the way it's supposed to be, that the operation is ready to take place and ready to take position. Lord Knight Jackson exactly told the Red King that it's time that he activates his next phase of his plan in order to begin his next stage of attack against the Intergalactic Coalition straight away. And the Red King was successfully pleased and very happy to proceed on with this next attack effective immediately. On the 28th of April, the Red King exactly met up with the Red Queen in the throne room, where they were able to discuss their plans for universal domination in order for them to become the rightful rulers of the universe, to making sure that they remain in power and in control over the sacred galactic war, and that by wiping out the Four Nation Hunters is still their best chance for them to control humanity through chaos and destruction and death and pain and misery as well. The Red King was quietly successfully pleased and very happy of the Red Queen's advice and also his advices, and the Red Queen told the Red King that she'll continue to further her dark experiments and her dark rituals to create more powerful, formidable dark technology for the Red Nation and for the Red Empire, to making sure that the Empire is formidable and also remains indestructible, and that their son will exactly one day become the new founding king, become the new Red King of the Red Nation and of the Red Empire, that he will successfully fulfill his destiny and also in his mission as well. And the Red King was successfully pleased and very happy of this development, meaning that it's time for the Red Nation and the Red Empire to take its rightful place at the center of the cosmos as well. On May, between May and June, the Court of Nature secretly formed an alliance with the Harvikan core empire that is quietly led and founded by Lord Harvick, who in return exactly will supply them with more powerful, destructive, invincible technology as part of their deal and as part of their agreement. In return, the Court of Nature will secretly supply the Harvikan core empire with more superhumans and supernaturals and aliens and alien creatures with supernatural and invincible powers and extraordinary and invincible powers as a new army for the Harvikan core, in order for them to use that army to launch a full-scaling invasion on the other worlds and other civilization in order to further their conquest and their goals, which exactly they share the same common goal and the common goal and a common interest to further their common conquest and their goals of conquering the known universe and the rest of sacred existence in the process as well. On the 2nd of July, the Red King exactly was quietly present when the Dark Queen and the rest of the dark magic users began experimenting with shadow energy, which she was able to perform her witchcraft on a larger scale than ever before, extracting magical energy and magical powers from other worlds and from other planets, and leaving worlds and planets dead and devastated and destroyed, leaving destruction and death behind, in harvesting magical energy and powers behind it. And the other magical users, known as the warlocks and the witches and the druids, were forced to successfully fight back against these evil conquerors, and the battle completely lasted until the Red Queen unleashed her dark magic against these warlocks and ultimately defeating them in the process. The Red Queen remarked to the Red Queen remarked to the Red King that this process of gaining more powers, more magical powers, and more other powers so quickly and so advancedly would exactly able them not to exactly use colonization or mining in a faster way, which is going to exactly able to speed up the process in seizing more power and more control over other worlds and other planets in a process. This will exactly enable the Red Empire to become the most indestructible and also formidable empire throughout sacred history as well. And the Red King was very proud and very successfully happy with this development as well. On the 10th, on the 15th of July, the Red King attended a video conference of the members of the Court of Nature, where Lord Knight Jackson exactly assured them that the Harvican Core Empire is their new partner and ally to their common goals, which they say the common goals and the common conquest goals of they share the common interest of their conquest in order for them to aid them on their conquest in conquering the rest of the sacred world and the rest of the sacred universe. In return, they'll supply them with an army of superhumans and aliens and supernaturals. In return, the Harvican Core will supply them with more powerful, destructive Harvican Core technology as ever before. And the Red King was successfully pleased and very happy with this. The Red King exactly sat at the throne room where the warlords and commanders exactly told him that the Harvican Core has delivered more powerful, compatible technology in order for them to use to overpower the members of the Intergalactic Coalition. And the Red King exactly told the generals and the warlords that it's time for them to attack and wipe out the Intergalactic Coalition effective immediately, meaning starting now completely. On the 10th of August, the Red King's army and forces were already behind the mountains, and heavily equipped with Shadow Empire technology, with not only Shadow Empire technology, with Harvican Core Empire technology, and are ready to remove the Intergalactic Coalition 4-Nation Hunters. The Intergalactic Coalition 4-Nation Hunters and the rest of the Universal Monster Hero and the rest of the Universal Monster Heroes were ready to intercept against the enemy, which they were able to battle against the enemy head on, and they were able to use their powers and their wits and their tactics to fight against their formidable new enemy, realizing that the Red Nation is behind this attack and orchestrating this ambush and all of it behind it. One supervillain was quietly present at the time, known as Green Man, who's a powerful villain and who's a very formidable villain and a strategist and an agent of the other ancient groups of supervillains, such as the Order of the Five, the Order of the Six, the Order of the Seven, and the Founders, and the Unholy Alliance, and now in the Court of Nature as well. Despite this, Green Man exactly told the members of the Intergalactic Coalition and also the Universal Monster Heroes that the orders came from and that the orders came from the higher masters and also from the formidable dark masters, and that's stating that they'll be purposely be wiped out this time. Despite that, Grey Man exactly disappeared, using the battle Reich as an incursion to disappear completely, and he completely vanished within the battle. The Universal Monster Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition captured several key enemies, and they were ultimately sentenced into the Astral Prison, designed to house super criminals and super villains and rogue evil warlords and druids and evil witches and rogue heroes who create chaos and destruction upon their wake. Despite this, Greyman exactly reported back to the Red King on the 20th of August, telling him that the ambush was unsuccessful as the enemy triumphed and they captured several key enemies and their technology were confiscated as well. The Red King was quietly disappointed. In a matter of fact, the Red King was successfully pleased that now everything can go according to plan, the way it's intended to be as well. On the 1st of September, the Red King exactly met up with the warlords and generals and commanders of his empire, and he told them that it's time for them to implement a new strategy in order to overpower and overpower the Intergalactic Coalition and effectively wipe them out of the way. And the generals completely agreed that it's time for the next phase of their plan as well. On the 15th of September, the Red King attended a meeting of the Court of Nature in an ancient, dark and mysterious, beautiful temple that was quietly hidden on a beautiful, magical world, where the members of the Court of Nature reconvened to discuss the operations and the successful plans where where Queen Light exactly reassured the members of the Court of Nature that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's intended to be. And Lord Knight Jackson exactly told the members of the Court of Nature that they planning and that their plans can now bear fruit, and that their goals can exactly successfully bear fruit, and that they can exactly come to bear fruit and intuition as well, that they'll soon become the sole rulers of the cosmos and of the rest of the known universe as well, and of the rest of the sacred universe as well, and that wiping out the universal Earth heroes and the universal monster heroes and the universal space heroes and the universal defending heroes and the world heroes and the universal heroes will exactly bear fruit as well, which they'll successfully able to use these heroes as pawns in order to further their own goals and their own plans by any means necessary, and that they secret group of supervillains will become the sole rulers of the cosmos when the Shadow Empire and the Star Empire wage war for sole control over the sacred universe and over the known universe as well, if they exactly do wage war. And if they successfully do wage war, then the Court of Nature and the other ancient groups of supervillains will become the sole rulers of the cosmos. But they are willing to use the universal heroes and the other heroes as pawns in order to further their own plans and their own goals, as what exactly Lord Knight Jackson exactly told the members of the Court of Nature, that the schedule is put in place and that everything else is ready to take place. And the Red King was quietly reassured and was very quietly successfully pleased that heroes like these they cannot exactly underestimate their abilities and their powers as well, and that underestimating their abilities in doing the operation as well cannot exactly bear fruit, and that they can never ever again take them lightly ever again. And Queen Light and the rest of the members of the Court of Nature agreed that never again to underestimate the universal monster heroes or the Phoenician hunters or the universal heroes or the universal earth heroes' abilities in building the operation ever again, and that this time they'll try a new tactic and that they'll use them as pawns to further their own plans and their own goals, and that the Court of Nature will become the most formidable, powerful group throughout the sacred universe and throughout the known universe, and that they will become the sole rulers of the cosmos. And the Red King was very proud and very successfully pleased and reassured of the matter, that everything else can begin to take place as well. On the 3rd of October, the Red King successfully exactly met up with the Red Queen on the throne room, where he told the Red Queen that everything else has been arranged into place, and that everything else and that the operation has been set into place, and that they can finally begin taking their rightful places in the sacred galactic war, and that everything else has been implemented the way it's supposed to be, and that it's time for them to become the sole rulers of the cosmos, and that the Red Nation would have conquered many worlds and many alien cities and supernatural cities and worlds and planets, and that they'll become the sole rulers of those worlds and cities, and of the rest of sacred existence in the process. And the Red Queen was successfully proud and very happy as well. During at that day, the Red King exactly met up with Lord Knight Jackson, telling him that the plan is quietly implemented in place and that his forces of his empire are ready to be dispatched under your orders and are ready to deal with another sinister adversary known as the Ice Creature, which is an unknown creature that's exactly being created by dark and powerful magic used to wreak havoc and chaos throughout the known universe and throughout the rest of sacred space for it to conquer known worlds and known civilization. Despite this, Lord Knight Jackson told the Red King that patience is a virtue, that the right time will come. But for now, they should exactly halt the operation and telling the agents and the operatives to wreak havoc and chaos, and they could exactly told another powerful secret society group of supervillains known as the Order of Fire to create chaos and carnage upon the revelation of the new Lord of Magic and his new secret society of supervillains known as the Order of Power, that wants to wipe out and exterminate the supernaturals and the aliens and the superhumans of the sacred world and of the known universe as well. Despite this, the Red King was quietly pleased and very much enlightened that the operation has finally begun to take place and that everything else is going according to schedule and that everything else can begin. On the 10th of October, the Red King met up with these warlords and generals, telling them that everything else is quietly in place. The plan can finally be implemented and be ready to proceed on with the attacks. And the warlords and commanders and the generals were very successfully happy that now they can begin with the final phase of the plan. Despite this, guys, the Red King has lived for many centuries and for many millennia. He's very immortal and very powerful. Together with the Red Queen, they have manipulated and controlled many worlds and many cities under their sole control, willing to wipe out the Phoenician hunters and the Intergalactic Coalition and the Universal Heroes in the process, to make sure that their empire remains the most formidable and indestructible and untouchable empire ever existed. due to the Red Queen's intervention and harnessing the power of shadow energy, the Red Nation and Red Empire has also remained the most dominant and powerful force throughout the known universe and throughout the rest of sacred history in the process, despite competing against the Shadow Empire, which has become its top competitor. Despite that, the Red King is willing to make sure that the new Lord of Magic and his new ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Order of Power doesn't pose a threat to his operation and as well to his goals, and is willing to exactly make sure that the new Lord of Magic and his newfound empire, his newfound Shadow Empire, doesn't exactly pose a threat to his goals. He believes in the Court of Nature's goals and also in their dreams to make sure that they become the sole rulers of the cosmos and of the rest of the sacred universe, and they're willing to exactly do so by any means necessary. The Red King is very skilled in dark arts and also in dark magic and also in blood magic, very skilled in manipulating blood magic and controlling blood magic and manipulating blood magic, very skilled in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, agility, and endurance, very extremely immortal and very powerful. Together with the Red Queen, they've brought a son known as the Red Prince, who will exactly take over the Red Nation and rule it with an iron fist. With the Red Queen's intervention and harnessment of shadow energy, the Red Nation and Empire has conquered many civilizations and cities and worlds and placed them under its sole control. They've been waging war against the Intergalactic Coalition and against the Four Nation Hunters for many centuries and for many years. Even now, the war still goes on. But the Red King is a very powerful, a very ambitious strategist and a tactician, forming an alliance with other groups of supervillains in order for them to neutralize their resources for his ultimate goals, so that his empire and his people can become invincible and also indestructible in the process. And is willing to make sure that the court of nature remains the sole rulers of the cosmos and of the rest of the known universe and of the rest of the sacred world and of the rest of the sacred world and of the rest of the sacred universe as well in a process. Despite this, he's very ambitious, very thrilled in battle, and he loves to play with his enemies, and he will do whatever it takes to manipulate them in order for him to bear the advantage, and in order for him to exactly gain the control of the war and of the world and of the sacred galactic conflict in the process, to make sure that his people are well taken care of and are also benefiting from the chaos and the destruction of the war. He views the Order of the 12 and the Order of the 5 and the Founders and Lord Shadow Jack and the Sacred Circle and the Alliance as threats and as also as competitors, and as well as the new Lord of Magic and the Order of Power as threats, and the new Shadow Empire as threats to his empire, to his goal, and to his ambition. And is willing to do whatever it takes to destroy their goals and also to crushing them and by using the universal heroes as pawns in order to further his own goal and his own plans as well. He's a very strategic man, very well organized in manipulating events and strategy as well, and very clever and very smart and very intelligent. He falls in love with the Red Queen for many years, and together they are a powerful couple that's exactly existed for many centuries and for many years. They are very quietly, completely intelligent. And also, one last thing, the Red King exactly maintains his usual basis of operation and as well as his central headquarters, which is his throne room and also his capital world and planet and city as well, in order for him to exactly communicate and secretly talk and communicate with the order, with the members of the Court of Nature, in order for them to successfully convene and meet and discuss their plans and the operation with the warlords and commanders and generals as well, to discuss the outcomes and the plans of the operation as well. Despite this, he's very good in maintaining individual bases, and as well as his central headquarters, and as well maintaining his planet, his home world, and his planet, and keeping it a secret, and as well keeping it a secret, and as well he has a huge fleet of warships and battle cruisers and airships at his disposal, an entire armada at his disposal, using that armada and its power and the power of the armada to wage war on other worlds and other civilization. He's very ruthless and very cruel and very ambitious, smart, strategic, clever, very careful, and very manipulative. Well, guys, that's it for today's episode. I'll exactly see you on Monday. You'll receive the full video on Monday. I'll be able to upload it on Monday. But for those of you who are watching shorts, you'll be able to receive the shorts of the video today. So enjoy your weekend. Have a blessed weekend and have a blessed day. And also stay safe and stay happy. God bless you all. God bless you all. Bye.